It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicky Brackens. Vicky Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Sitting in for Vicky is the friendly neighborhood advisor, Mike Jennings. Mike, good to see you again, my brother. And first of all, how was your holiday? Merry Christmas. How was your Christmas?
My holidays were good. I spent it. It was my first Christmas with my girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
That was,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Actually, no, it's our first Christmas together. We've been together, a few Christmases, but our first one that we actually spent together. It's our first year living together, so it was wonderful. I didn't get a gold chain to match you.
Ah, hey,
Yeah.
wait, but did you have any gold was there any sparkling things happening with?
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
all right,
Christmas,
okay,
Christmas is too cliche for that.
okay, all right. I was gonna say, well, speaking of too cliche for that, I proposed on Christmas Eve. Just saying.
Oh, apologies.
Just saying, just saying.
It was still cool when you
No, it's
did.
all good. I'm not trying to put you. Yes, I am actually. I am. No, but I'm glad you had a good holiday. And do you have New Year's Eve plans?
New Year's Eve. Actually, we're just gonna do the house this year. Just stay inside. Number one, it's too cold.
Okay.
And there's too many options. And
Yeah.
it's like, you go out and it's the same thing, same people. So we're just gonna stay inside and enjoy each other's presence and bring in the new year with each other.
That's the look into you. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I got to tell you a story off camera about that. But
I'll hold you to that. I'll
yes,
hold you
yes,
to
yes.
that.
All right. So, Michael, what's going on? What you got for us this week?
Well, George, it's that time of the year. It's the end of it.
Yes.
So that means it's also a great time to plan for the year ahead. So I definitely wanted to come on here and talk about some tips that'll not only make next year easier, but if you can make an effort into changing your mindset about certain things, you can make the rest of your years better. And that's the power of planning. And that's what we focus on
So we're
here
not
at
doing
Brad.
nothing for these last couple of days. We good. That's done, huh? You trying to set us up?
Listen, listen, I might have a tip or two for these last couple of days, but
Okay.
let's just all get into the mindset
Oh,
that is 2025 and think about what we're doing, what we're going to
oh.
do for this year.
And by the way, Michael, you had commented on my chain. This is a Christmas present, by the way, from last year.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Exactly like you.
All right.
Uh,
So, yeah.
so while we're thinking ahead, we here at Brackens Financial Solutions Network are excited to bring you our 17th annual Black History Month Jazz Cabaret on February 23rd, 2025. If you've been to our cabaret before, you know that it's always the last Sunday in February. And you also know that this is a great event. And this year we are super excited. We're going to do a bit of a venue change. We'll be at the top floor ballroom in the downtown Syracuse Marriott. So if you're interested in that, tickets can be purchased soon through the cnyjazz.org website or by calling 315-479-5299.
Get your tickets fast because though we're changing, although they're changing locations, moving up to the Grand Ballroom, it's going to be popular and it's going to sell out, folks. So don't tell us that Vicky didn't tell you because every year I'm texting Vicky, somebody's asking me for tickets. Don't be that one. Soon as they go on sale, and they could be launched any minute now. Make sure
Yep,
you get your tickets because it's going to be fun,
absolutely.
and it's going to be featuring Jesse J. Jesse
Yes,
J.
Jay, absolutely. So we're looking forward to a great show this year. But back to the year-end deal. Some tips as far as making sure we're getting all set for next year. Number one, probably the most important. I know I've definitely come on here before and spoken about it, but we all have to get our budget in order. And this
Okay.
is this is the best time for this. You have an entire year to review. So make sure that you check all of your statements from all of your accounts. A lot of you, we're lucky to be in this digital age where we have our banking apps right on our phone. A lot of them, you can go in there, you can look at your transactions, and many of them will automatically put those transactions into different categories of spending. So entertainment, food, whatever the case may be, utilities. Look at all those and review them and adjust them as needed. You definitely want to make sure you find your problem areas. I know a big one for most people is food, whether it's groceries or whether it's dining out. Another good one is subscriptions. Like I think I mentioned last time, I thought I cut the cord. I thought I would, no more cable. That's it. Just have the internet and just have one or two subscriptions. Well, one or two subscriptions turn into 10 or 18. So now I'm actually probably paying double than what I did for cable. So I'm definitely gonna have to look at that for myself and
Right.
decide what I need to cut.
Yeah, because when you think about it, right, and I wonder how that works. Like, okay, so you get like, do you have what's your central um thing that you use, Michael? Do you use like YouTube TV? Like, what do you use as your main streaming device and
I
so
don't know.
on?
I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I like learning different things, so YouTube is actually really good for that. And
Right. Do you have like
like
YouTube TV or
yeah, no, not the
just
TV, just the premium. I don't want to deal with the ads. I don't want
okay?
to deal
All
with
right. Yeah, I have premium too.
the That's a millennial thing. We don't want to get the ads out of here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wonder why I have premium, but I do. But I like, you know why I like that? Because, but we're not talking about why we like stuff. We're talking about why we need to get rid of stuff. So let's continue.
That's right. We could talk about why we like it all day.
Yeah.
Um, Also another good tip, and I got this one from a friend of mine, right? So, again, being in this digital age, we have a lot of tools available to us, and one of them is actually AI. So this friend of mine actually mentioned using ChatGPT to make a shopping list and a meal plan on a biweekly basis. So I was like, that sounds like a good
So
idea.
how does that work, for example?
Right, right.
So
So,
so so do you put in like the stuff you eat in the thing and then it said and you say give me a shopping list and a meal plan? How does it work?
so here's what I did. Now, I don't really use Chat GPT like that. This is actually my first time using it. So I just went to the website and I said, hey, make me a shopping list for meal plans that averages it's biweekly and averages about $175
Every
per trip, right?
right. Every
That's
2 weeks or whatever it is.
pretty basic for, a two-person household,
Right.
350 a month, right?
And you put
And
two persons in there?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I did. And it spit it right out. And like all of your basic, you had all the categories, so you know right where to go and when you're shopping. And actually what I did, I just wanted to double check. That's the thing about this AI. You want to double check everything, right? So I took the list, I plugged and I matched everything to the Wegmans app. And when I tell you it was only a few dollars off. Only a few
Really?
dollars off. Yeah. Yeah. So this
So
is
how does it know what you like to eat?
So that's the thing about AI, especially generative AI. So the more specific you are with the prompt, as far as what you type in, your request, the more specific
We're
and more accurate.
asking you, did you put in I want
I didn't.
turkey and I want hamburgers
I
and I
didn't.
want you
I didn't.
did.
I like everything.
You just
I
put
like
out you
everything.
just said, give me a list.
Now
Now
I could have said, make half of it gluten free.
right, right, right. So
Substitute high fat things for lower fat or low cholesterol, whatever the case
so
may be.
so so what you're saying is that this tool helped you with your budget for your shopping, and you did you stick to the list?
I didn't stick to it.
Oh my
I
God, Michael, what?
See, my problem is I go grocery shopping hungry. So
Oh,
I end up just swiping everything
wait,
into the
wait.
cart.
Plus the stuff on the list, plus
Plus the stuff on the list.
but okay, best. So this is Mike is basically saying, do as I say, not as I do. So go.
Exactly. No, but in all seriousness, this is a great tool.
Yeah,
When we talk to clients and we get to this first kind of roadblock of detailing your budget and your
right,
expenses,
right.
a lot of people find it cumbersome. They find it,
Hmm.
tiring and mundane, and they don't feel like doing it, and that kind of slows up the whole process.
Hmm.
This is something that you can use to kind of take the edge off and take some of that load off of your shoulders. Just have something to give you a basic sense of this is what you need to do. And then, it doesn't have to be grocery shopping. You can pretty much anything in your budget. You can ask somebody, whether it's me or whether it's an AI, and say, "Hey, what are some options that I can do with this?" Again, double check the answers. You always want to double check. But again, that was a great tool. That's something that I learned. We might have to do a separate episode on that. Now that I think about it.
Now we think about it, yeah.
Some other good tips as far as your budget. Change if you find that you're consistently late, or maybe you're a day or two late on something, maybe something just isn't coming out at the right time as far as your bills, you can call in to pretty much anywhere and request a change of your payment date so that it works better for you, right? A lot of these, these payment dates, they come out whenever you sign up for the service, right?
Right,
So
right.
they're not thinking about when you get paid. All they care of you made that first payment, and now they're expecting that payment every month. So if it's necessary, if you find yourself in the situations, just call in, whether it's a credit card company, whether it's one of your utilities, and say, "Hey, can I change the payment date? I promise I will be on time every day, every month from here on out. You just got to change that payment date so that it comes after my money comes in, right?" Um, so that's some tips on your budget. Some other good tips for next year. Set realistic goals, please.
Financial
Um,
goals.
yes, that too.
Oh,
Financial
you mean
planning.
realistic goals, period.
Realistic goals, period. That's just good planning. And like you alluded to, financial planning is, partly what we do is planning for our clients for the now. And the other part is planning for the future by setting goals. And obviously, you have your shorter term, midterm, long-term goals. Now, your long-term goals, those are the ones that can kind of be a little bit more aspirational. Those are the ones you can say, okay, I want to make sure when I retire, I got this big house in a nice area. I got this car and this stuff. These are things that you can work on over time, right? So it's really those short-term goals, those yearly goals, like we're talking about, that really get you to where you need to be consistently over time. So again, your goals should be realistic. They should be specific as far as having a quantitative measure, not just, I want to do this more often. No, I want to do this two, three, four times a week, right? And I got to think about that for myself. I've been needing to go back to the gym for a long time, pretty much this entire year. So when I think about it in a realistic sense, am I going to get back in the gym in January 2025? And the answer is probably not, because everyone and their mother is going to be in the gym in January 2025, because that's when all the New Year's resolutionists are going to be in there. So I'm gonna push that out to February, to where I get back into the gym and just make sure, I keep doing what I'm doing. Make sure I keep using that grocery list so that I'm eating right, so that when I do get in the gym, I'm more effective. Other tips. Taxes, that's a big one. Something that comes up every year, right? So a lot of you are W-2 employees. So one of the things you want to make sure is that your withholding is correct, right? Now, if you find that you're regularly year after year getting a sizable refund from your taxes, that's not necessarily ideal, because what that means is you're overpaying throughout the year, and now you have this lump sum of cash that will probably be drained in less than a week or two, depending on your spending and your financial habits. And so it's more ideal to not overpay and just have that money, the extra money, throughout the rest of the year. If you regularly owe taxes, on the other hand, that means that you're not
Oh no,
paying
totally.
enough during the year.
Listen, I just, I was going, can I just add something here?
Yes,
This just
absolutely.
happened to me as a hybrid employee, as a hybrid, have a business now.
Exactly. There you
And
go.
and so I checked my deductions and they were totally wrong. Like totally wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong. And it was shocking how wrong they were. And they hadn't been changed in about 7 years. I'm thinking they're accurate and they were totally wrong. So this is
Exactly.
really good. Just check to make sure that you have the right deductions, because
Yep.
mine
Check
were
your
totally wrong.
deductions. Just
Yeah,
look at that paycheck. A lot of people look at their paycheck and think that they don't have any control over some of those deductions. You actually do.
you do.
So you definitely want to make sure that you calculate
You know,
what
if
the
you're
withholding
married or if you're
exactly.
single.
You're married, how many
Yeah,
dependents,
right.
exactly. So
Oh
you
my
want
God, it was totally wrong. So that is
to.
as silly, and I don't want to say it's silly, but like as obvious as that sounds,
Mhm.
check to make sure that you are that you're withholding what you want to withhold. Say it that way. And
1000%.
and clearly what I thought I was withholding was not what I was withholding.
Like you said, sometimes the obvious things are the easiest thing to overlook. So
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. Now, on the other hand, George, you alluded to, some of you are 1099. You're either fully self-employed or you have a side gig where you get your 1099 returns. But I know a lot of you, as far as you self-employed people that are listening, I know many of you dread this time of year, and I know why. It's because a lot of you aren't paying your taxes. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of you aren't paying your taxes correctly or on time. So being self-employed means that you're the boss. And when you're the boss, that means you must what, George?
Pay. I don't know. What does it mean?
Pay the cost. Come on,
Pay.
man.
Oh, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
you go.
Yeah, I almost had my black card pulled.
Not today, not today. So you gotta be the boss. So when you're self-employed, there's no one above you making sure that you're paying your federal and state taxes or paying into your Social Security on time. So you have to make sure you do that yourself. Now I can tell you it's a pretty cumbersome process. Um, so you have to make sure that you calculate your taxes and you have to calculate them for the taxes that you're expecting to pay for the year, right? Now it could be a little tricky, especially when you have varying income. Some people you make more money at the beginning of the year, then it kind of mellows out in the rest of the year, or you make more money at the end of the year, whatever the case may be. So I implore all of you 1099ers out there, I implore all of you, if this applies to you, please go find an accountant to help you with this. I am not an accountant. You can come to me though. We can make sure that we get you in the right frame, right mind space, get you in the right thinking of your finances, making sure we're looking at all the details. And if you need a CPA or an accountant, we have a few relationships that we can send you over to them to make sure that you're all set. But this is something very, very important. And you also, with that, you want to make sure that your bookkeeping is on par. The number one thing that can mess you up on your taxes is bad bookkeeping. And too many mistakes on your tax filings can get you flagged for future IRS audits. So you definitely want to make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. All right, I got a couple more tips, couple more tips here. Next one, check your credit report. Now, it used to be you could check each of your reports from the big three bureaus once every year. That was a federal mandate. But now, starting last year, actually, it's possible to check all three weekly. So
Weekly.
every week, you can
Mm,
go onto annualcreditreport.com and pull all three of your credit reports from all three
every
bureaus.
week. That's great. And we're talking
Every
about Equifax, TransUnion, and what else? Experian.
Yep, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Yeah.
All three. The big three. It's not Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. It's the
Ah, I see you. I see you.
it's the real big three.
Right, right, right. That's good.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't know that you could do that because it used to be you could do it once a year, no
mhm.
matter when you did it, but it was only
Yeah.
once a year you could
And You
do
you
it
could split it up. You could get one and then wait a few months to get another. So technically, you could check it three times
three
per year.
times. Right, right, right.
Right.
Because
But
it's each
now,
one. But I'm thinking if you wanted them
exactly.
all at once, but
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And
now
then
you can
not
check.
all they all don't have the same information, and your credit
True.
scores could be different
Yes.
depending upon which reporting
Yep.
reporting what is it called? Reporting what?
Reporting Bureau.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep, that's right. Your credit scores can be different across all three, and there's also multiple different credit scores, right? Your mortgage credit score isn't the same as your auto credit score, isn't the same as your overall credit score. So definitely want to make sure that you check all three of those Not weekly. You don't have to check them all weekly. It's not going to change that much per week, but definitely monthly. Since that's when most accounts are reported. But if it's been definitely a while since you've checked your full report, or if you've never even seen your full report, you want to definitely go ahead and pull them right now. And that's at annualcreditreport.com. Look for any discrepancies, any accounts that are unknown to you, because this could indicate something not too kosher happening, something like fraud or identity theft. So you definitely want to make sure you look at those. Last tip I'll leave you with, because I know we're running on time here. April 15th, April 15th every year. That's not just the deadline to file taxes. It's also the deadline to make any last IRA contributions for
for
the
the
previous.
prior year.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
So
if you
your
were
2024 contributions can be made up to April 15th, 2025.
Absolutely. As long as you make it with 2024 earnings. You can't use the money that you just made in the first first few months and then try to backdate it to the old one. But yes, absolutely. So
I
April
don't know, how do you
15th.
do that? Like, if you have the money now, why can't you just, you're putting the money in 2025. So how do you not, I don't know how that would, well, I ain't gonna,
Exa-
go
it-
see
it-
Michael to get that straightened out. Okay.
exactly. It's tricky. So hey, go see a professional. I
Yeah.
recommend Michael
Not you, right?
Jennings.
But go see a tax professional.
Hey, I recommend Michael Jennings. He's a good guy. He's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I said, see you.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. He can help you figure
Um,
that out.
Couple quick hits. Double check all important paperwork, beneficiaries on all of your accounts. Check your insurances, your life insurance, disability, long-term care. If you have a term life policy, you're another year closer to the end of that term or to the end of your conversion period if you're looking to switch that over to a permanent policy. Um, some of you have some things that fall under the use it or lose it rules. Might be a bit late to use that vacation time, but if you have an FSA, you might want to spend that while you still have the chance. And check all of your estate planning measures, right? Your will, your power of attorney, healthcare proxy, all important things. I know we had a previous episode on that. It's still just as important now. So,
And your FSA, some of them have carryover, and also if you're shopping for products that are going to be covered under FSA, and I'm looking at what you have for the next couple of days, you can
mhm.
also go on your favorite shopping sites, even some of the department stores or Amazon, whatever, and they have specific, they have a site just for those products. So you'd be surprised what's covered, and you can shop until you drop.
There you go. There you
Because
go.
you got to use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it. It comes into play. So, there's so many more things I can list. But the biggest thing to take from this is to just review everything and plan for the year ahead. And again, if you find this cumbersome, if you don't know where to start, if you're looking at this whole thing is just overwhelming as a process, listen, I'm only one call away. Give me a
And what,
call, 315-748-5540. Again, that's 315-748-5540. You can also send me an email at michael.jennings@brackensfsn.com.
all right. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Sitting in for Vicki, Mike Jennings, your friendly neighborhood advisor.
Thank you, George.